play, you really want. There it is.
We're streaming right now. It says
you want your
stop streaming. We are streaming.
Your full screen. We are streaming. Thank you for everybody who tuned in the first 2 seconds of the stream.
Whoa there, buddy. You know, there's a guy you might know him. His name's Vince.
So we'd like to thank Mr. Kerry Awful. For those who don't know Kerry, he is
nobody.
I don't know. I don't. It's for anybody who's been on my Patreon or listened to my podcast. They're gonna know how special he is to me, and I'm very fortunate to have him in the house right now. And it's not just a casual.
Wait, no, I hang out with you. No, it's not special. This is what we do for fun.
It is, but it's like you've got a brand new daughter.
That's true.
You're in college doing school just like I am. And I mean, it's not like I uprooted and went to your house, which I do. I'm selling myself short. Long story short, anyone who follows me, and for that people who don't know who I am, my name is Brian Maxwell. Thank you for showing up. I hope that you'll love me by the end of this conversation. Everyone who's followed me across my entertainment journey for the last 10 plus years knows that I don't have a lot of friends or family. I just don't. And the man next to me is very special to me. I've been trying to get him on to do a lot of things, and life gets in the way a lot of time. There's a thing that I want to do called Riding in Cars with Kerry, because it sounds like riding in cars with comedians, and that's a fun show. And I ride in cars with Kerry already, and y'all know I'm all about.
It's not comedy.
If you can, but if you
it's
make
comedy
$1,
or is it a tragedy, Maxwell?
It's
comedy or is it tragedy?
There's comedy in some of those gas stations and those dollar hot dogs, that's for sure. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna watch some wrestling with you today. Old USWA. It's from Memphis. It's what I grew up on.
We're gonna talk wrestling also.
And I've only got my perspective. Kerry brings something that's just, it's like be real. It's very, very rare that I'm ever gonna have an opportunity to sit in a room with somebody who's been doing pro wrestling, the thing that I love the most in the world, for 16 years.
Oh, I hadn't done it that long.
It's a long.
I haven't done 16, but I've done it for a while for sure.
It's a long fucking dude. I've looked up shit when you look like you just a little bitty baby boy, and I'm watching it. I watch your old videos of you and Nick Iggy, who's also amazing.
I'm wearing Samoa Joe knockoff tights, and I'm beating the shit out of people because I think that's what wrestling is.
Sometimes you don't even get to talk because you're a dog. I had to have somebody explain this to me. But they were like, no, Kerry, he's not a human being. He's a dog.
That's like Rick Steiner and like the or even the Moondogs, especially the Moondogs.
Oh,
wrestling's goofy though. It was like Scooby Doo and Scrappy Doo is what and Jake and Finn and Lassie and Timmy. That's what we based that off.
So did you do it like Moondog style, like where you were? Like, were you fucking crazy? Did you hit people with the bone?
Yes, for sure. I hit people with bones. Here's a reason why I'm bad with money. Those bones from PetSmart are what, $8-10? I'd buy them and then give them away to the crowd because I was like, oh man, I was going through.
I have trouble buying that, like spending that kind of money on a bone and giving it to my dog, who they're literally for and enjoys bones, and I love my dog.
Yeah. I would watch it too. I'd give it to some some kid in the front row like they do with masks or whatever the gimmick is. Then the kid would get it and be like, yeah, I got it. And then like, what am I to do with this? They'd throw it away on their way out. I'd try to get it out and maybe sell it for the next time.
I always keep everything that I get from anything. Like I go to a concert and I catch a drumstick. I've got it for about 6 months, it seems. Maybe a year, but you move it from one drawer to another, and then from that drawer to a box. And then that box is on a shelf for 3 months, and you're like, why in the fuck do I still...
Where's the other drumstick? I don't know where the other one was.
Why do I have this PetSmart dog bone with some other dude's blood on it for the last 2.5 years? But like anything in life, I've got a couple kids with autism. You've got a new baby. I'm in college. You're in college. We've got so many things going on. And one of the things that we have going on is we are trying to start a pro wrestling promotion right here in this area. And to do that, you need a thing called money. And it's could I throw up a thing and say, hey man, here's a Kickstarter. If we make this much money, we're gonna buy a ring, and then you guys can watch something. Sure, I could do that, but that's not what this is.
We could, I guess, we could do that, but I feel that that's like almost insincere.
Right.
Like, I think anybody that knows me and knows Crux, like, and that's what what we're really working at is improving what we already have and building new concepts and new brands. For a long time, I've just been a wrestler, and over the couple years ago, that's changed, and I became a trainer. At points, I became a booker and a promoter, or doing like talent coordinating for Dojo Pro, right, and helping them with that, and then ending up wrestling on it, or like doing stuff with Wombat Wrestling, right, like cool stuff. Like I've been trying to do a lot of stuff behind the scenes to become a better asset to the wrestling industry, because this is what I love. This is what I wish I could do for my life. There's not a job in wrestling that I don't love, from wrestling to setting up rings to being a booker or trying to promote or being a teacher. I've spent a lot of my time helping everybody that I could along the way, and because of that, I've been very lucky to have a lot of people help me out on the way. I feel bad because I feel like it's almost this like weird trope now where it's like, oh, Kerry's gonna do something. Well, Kerry, I've been very open. Like I feel like I'm always broke as a starving artist. Especially now with like the way that the job economy is. Like it's crazy. It's weird because I want to be able to wrestle, and I want to be able to wrestle for everybody, and I want to help other people become better wrestlers. I want to make wrestling. I want to make art. I want to make companies. I want to make stories. And I've gotten to a point now where I'm very lucky and appreciative of everybody who's given me a place to train students at, or has paid money for something I wrestled to come see me wrestle. Anybody who's bought T-shirts or whatever, anyone who's bought me dinner before on the road, right? I'm like a real transparent guy, and I've realized like later on in life that that's really cost me in wrestling. Because I want to be friends with everybody, and I do want to be honest with people, and I want there to be this like cognitive divide between Kerry the person and Kerry the wrestler, right? But right now, I'm like, nah, dude, I want to be a guy that admits that wrestling's cool, and I want to make cool wrestling for people. So we're trying to make a company. We're trying to make more than just Crux and several things with a bunch of people involved in it, and it's all been really cool, and we're all pulling our talent and resources together. So over the next few weeks, I have students that want to have their first matches, and we're going to take safety precautions for that, because we have been doing that and running class safely as we can and doing what we can to do that, with being inside the CDC guidelines of the state of Tennessee at the time.
Not even almost. We pulled you to the side at practice because you were outside in the sun and it was all hot, and I measured you, and I think you were at 99, almost 100, and I went, look, man, if we're serious about this, then you're over the number, and we pulled you to the side and we redid it.
Yeah.
So we understand
sanitizing and everything in between, right?
We understand that there are risks involved, and we understand that the people who are coming understand that there are risks involved, but we know that there's certain things that we can do, but we can't
just not make art anymore.
And for me personally, and anyone who's followed me knows that it's more what I do, the entertainment side, me having this conversation with you right now. This is what keeps me off of the ledge in life. Diagnosed bipolar, manic depressive. I've never been happier in my entire life than the last 8 months, and 4 of those were stolen by the coronavirus. This is everything I've ever wanted in life, to the point where I almost made, and I won't go into details, but let's just say I almost made a really stupid financial decision that would have put me in a bad way for several years, and it would have been bad, and I would have left behind something that I came in loving more than anything I ever have. looking at it in a bitter and bad light, and it would have been dumb. And I'm past that now, thanks to smart people and good friends. But what we have is a situation where we need things. And one of those things, and the most important of those things, I assume that anyone who's seen wrestling knows that if you want to wrestle, you're probably going to need a ring.
And we have one.
And it's a blessing. It's a blessing, and it came right after I was literally talking to the guys who are trying to make this happen with us, and I said, man, I feel like the whole world is against me right now, and sadness had washed over me because it felt like I needed that ring and it just wasn't going to happen, and one has come along and it's a blessing. But again, money.
Yeah.
And we're not asking anyone to just give away your money. If you love what we do and you want to make a donation to see it happen, God bless you. That's cool. You are the lifeblood of what makes entertainment go. You're the reason that guys get up every day and work for nothing for 10 years for the hopes of making a connection with people and those people wanting to see you succeed.
I think also what we're looking at right now is we've worked really hard at the school, but the school's always been dependent on where I could get students in at. We're taking them on the road to teach them before class or before wrestling that night and stuff like that. We've been very kind to be at SWF. Some of you know it as the Gypsy Joe Arena locally, and I think further out there, everyone knows it as the White Claw Arena.
The White
right?
Claw Arena.
And,
Wombat, GCW.
Yeah, and it's cool, but it's also it's an hour and a half almost away from my house. And for most of my students in Nashville, it's like a 2-hour drive.
It's a long way out there for some folks. And even with some cats, they come all the way from like Alabama sometimes.
Yeah.
To train. And like I said,
Indiana
with you
and
especially, and you have to consider, because from the time that I started my Patreon, I understood that a podcast, especially one from someone who was like a fourth tier Tell 'em Steve Dave podcast guy, I understand that asking for money can be difficult to some people, because they're like, why should I pay you for something if I can go get it free here?
Yeah.
But the reality of it is that I have to value my time at something. I have to. Because if I'm not making money off of the things that I'm doing, then I can't do them.
It can't be. With everything going on now, I've realized how much I love wrestling and how much I want to do this and make it better. But to do that, the company has to grow, right? Like I have to grow Crux, and I want to see if we can provide something for everybody in that process. I think now more than ever we've learned about empty arena shows. Like who would have thought that guys like Beyond would have paved the way for even this to happen, because they were the original ones that I ever saw do it. And now it's become like such a part of the business that now we're seeing no fan shows on TV every week, right? I think that we can do that down here. I know that what we're choosing to do is not essential. I know that there's inherent risk with that. I think all of us do, and all of us understand that as an assumption of risk, right? But we also know what it means like to be in these weird times, and as shitty and as horrible and as it's a hard time, and we got to find reasons to smile. Yeah. Personally, I think that Crux, right now I'm in a spot where I think I could do some of that with Crux. Everybody knows I've like booked from the seat of my pants and done like stuff on the kindness of others. I've been able to give some really cool opportunities to people over the years. I've been lucky to have booked a PWF with Jimmy, and for better or worse, however that was, I was very proud of a lot of the stuff we did there.
You guys know Juicy Jimmy if you're on the Patreon.
Yeah. And I was really happy to do the Crux vs. GCW show, and the shows in Chattanooga, and the shows in Tullahoma. And it's weird to think that we were going to run WrestleMania, because life is serendipitous like that, and it all fell into place, right? So like, I'm so happy that even if it's like 25 people or 50 people, that anyone has ever watched or said something or been kind to us. And I hate it. Everyone who knows me, like, if people will just try to donate, and I feel like that's not okay, because like I feel like I have not earned it, no matter how sweet the intention is. So what we're going to do is we're going to start doing content for Patreon and we're gonna just start. We're gonna throw shit at the wall and see what sticks, because that's what I do best. Over the next couple days, we're kind of plotting it out, and we're gonna do the little tiers for $1 here or $3 there, and then hopefully still be able to make stuff for you that you feel if you donate your money to that you enjoy and will help us continue to make it. Because even if it's $1 a month, right? $1 a month adds up quick to what we're trying to do. We looked at prices on fixing boards and changing turnbuckles, turnbuckle pads.
It all adds up.
Yeah,
It adds up, and we want to make sure that everything that we have is safe and looks good, because product is important. We're a visual product that we're gonna try to make, and things go into that. A bucket of paint here, a cover here, a thing there, and you're like, well, fuck, man.
yeah.
That's another the $400, $500, and it just starts adding up. And we realized that there was one of two things that had to happen. One, we had to go further into debt,
which none of us can afford.
Which
right now,
is
obviously.
just it's insane. It's insane to even think about. Or we can reach out to the people who we are hopeful are going to enjoy our product, the people who have already enjoyed all of the things that Crux has done before, and who will want to see us succeed. And through that want, you will give us $1 to $5 a month, maybe, for some podcasts, maybe a little short skit. You're not gonna get anything that you go, man, look, dude, you should be paying $5 for this. It's very much gonna be a, look at this, like, watch this with me, man. This is why I support these guys. These are my guys. And I know me personally, I think that through the Patreon and hopefully through a few live shows within the next 6-7 months, if you guys are willing to come along for the ride with us, I think we can get to where we want to go. And for me personally, like, that's life. That's life changing. That's childhood dreams, and it gives me the ability, because I always have the need to be validated, and I want to leave the world a better place. It would allow me the opportunity to give good guys good opportunities, and to give situations that may not, without getting specific, situations that may not be whatever, okay or allowed or even thought of in pro wrestling. I could present those, and to me, that's everything, man. Not just representation and inclusion and all of those things that people say so they can fucking look good and everything, but like the real life conversations that I've had over 8 months with the person sitting next to me, not the character, but the person. I know what it is that we want to do, and I believe if you guys are with us, that a year, 2 years from now, we're all going to look back and go, man, we really fucking did it. And it's going to be because of you guys.
I think one thing that I was really happy with when, like, actually, I've talked with Max about it for a while and talked with a lot of people, and they'll tell you, like, I am notorious for giving my own money away because I think it's the right thing to do in certain situations. I think this, even with Tuesday night Twitter fights, as funny as that is, and as much as everybody can say good or bad about it, we marketed it as Wayne's World and cheesy wrestling, like USWA wrestling, right? I think the people that watched that got in on that, and I think that that's part of it, you know? I think the idea of having somebody put somebody in a sleeper hold and then they pass out because somebody hotboxed them is really funny. And I think it's okay to laugh right now and think that that's funny.
I think that was awesome. That's one of my favorite things of the entire year.
We got other things that we want to do and other concepts that we want to do too that are more serious. We have one that we're working on right now that we're really excited about, and
I was just about to stop you. I was like, how much is he gonna say? We're really excited about it.
I don't want to just talk about wrestling anymore for the philosophy and art of it. I want to make a practical use of it, And even if nobody watches Tuesday night Twitter fights, right? I had a blast with my friends hanging out every weekend, and we shared our hangout with y'all. Because that's what we do. We get together as friends, and we do what we want to do. If a musician, if Max and I played drums and guitar and we were bored, we'd write music together just hanging out at the house. And that's kind of what Tuesday night Twitter fight was.
And on those Tuesdays, and it's another point to really hammer home how much when I say we have to value our time. What you don't see on those Tuesday night Twitter fights is the 3 hours that we drove there.
Yeah.
The 2 hours that we spent setting everything up, breaking everything down. The hour and a half and I mean 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a minute at a time when no one needed me, where I would run to the side of the Gypsy Joe Arena and throw on a set of headphones so I could study world history because I had an exam the next day.
It's a true story.
30 seconds at a time,
Yep.
I studied for that history. It almost gave me a fucking ulcer. I got 100 or some shit on it, but
and think about all
it's
the
neither
time,
here nor there. But
exactly.
but that shit, like
going straight from work and
literally,
can.
stressed me out to the point of where I couldn't sleep and almost threw up because we wanted to give you guys a Tuesday night Twitter fight.
We did that with a cell phone. We did it with a cell phone because that. If that's all we had, we did that. So,
and you can only go so far with that.
I think that people have seen us grow. I mean, with Maxwell joining and helping us on production, like anyone who's done any kind of wrestling video work can tell you, or has bought for video work, that it can be, time consuming. It can get. That's another price that just adds up quickly. But that's what we do to stand out. Like Max, luckily, was able to edit our Crux vs. GCW show. Like. It helped make that look possible. Max was able to save a bunch of that cell phone footage because we didn't think it would save while filming it live, and was able to grab that just so we could have it for a zany 10-20 second clip on our Twitter. We want to do more. We want to write more, and we want to show more. And we've got a lot of students that deserve to have their first match that didn't.
Yeah.
And even if they can't have it in a conventional wrestling crowd, they can in a safe environment following state and city guidelines so their family can be there and you can join in over the phone. We always joked and we said your phone was the key, and that was my little rink-a-dink, hey, this is how we're going to advertise it because emojis are fun. And people memed it, and that means that it worked, right? If you've pissed somebody off enough to meme something, then okay, it's going cool.
I still say that shit.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what it meant for the longest time. But it was that's a t-shirt, bro. Your phone is the key. That's like if you watch a fucking like a trailer to a movie or something, your phone is the key. That shit was dope to me. We should still probably do something. I'm rambling.
It's because we released it all for free on your phone. That was the big gimmick of that. I don't know. We're all really passionate, and the other members of this that are doing this are too. I've been very lucky that everyone's always been very receptive to a lot of the things and gambling sides of wrestling that I've taken, right? Some of my favorite moments just happened because we were like, well, fuck it, let's see it. Let's see what we can do, and if we fail, we fail. And because of that, I've gotten to do a lot of really cool stuff, and my students have gotten to do cool stuff, and my friends are getting to do cool stuff now. So what we're hoping for is that, with this Patreon or donations or whatever, we're going to show you where that money's going, whether it's going to the ring or to the new title belt. And we're going to give you updates on the Patreon. We're going to let you know that this is what we bought with this month's money. And we're not going to do that forever, but we are going to do it for this little short beat.
Yeah.
I think,
and that's the thing. When I say we can't do it without you guys, obviously I can go get a loan, he can get a loan, we can, there's a lot of things, but if we're, and this is part of what I love about what
I really don't think I could go.
We're trying to it's nobody's here to bullshit you, or lie to you, or try to sell you a lie just to make us money. This isn't fly by night shit. We've been talking about this for the better part of 4, 5, 6 months, almost since the day that I met Kerry, because this isn't a dream of mine from just when I started in my training and in the wrestling business 8 months ago. This is the last 12 years, 13 years. I had a job sitting at a desk that paid me real good money in air conditioning. I played on the internet all day, and I was fucking miserable.
I should have got an application there.
Miserable.
That
it's
great to me.
they fuck, dude. They may have a spot. It's fucking but it like for anyone to maintain their happiness and their integrity, and like we have to have something to leave our children.
Yeah.
I can't leave this earth knowing that I only gave everyone else everything. I have to leave something to my kids, and right now that something is about $100,000 in debt on this house. So if I could, and when we get the ring, and you guys come along for a show, we make a little money off of a show. We get that ring fixed up a little bit, and it looks nicer. And when you see it, you know
that your money,
that's because of you. You did that. You supported us. You helped us literally live our dream.
I think also a side thing about this too, now that I'm thinking about it, we do need to start watching some USWA.
Yes, which we're going to do right after this.
We're going to give you all matches, and we're going to give you exclusive content. It might be promos, it might be angles, it might be weird things of what we're doing during the week. Because Crux Wrestling won't be addressed like this. I guess this is what will be on the Patreon, is us talking about it almost like a director's cut. Because we think it's fun, and this is how y'all know me from talking at the shows instead of talking as Kerry Awful. Like, oh, I'm Kerry Awful, I'm a nut job.
Hey, and if you got ideas, if you're out there listening and you're going to come along for the journey with us, and you know something that we can do that doesn't cost us money, that you would enjoy, fucking send it. Well, maybe not like that. That looked kind of weird, but send them.
If we put a Patreon tier where people have an angle or a match they want to book, we want to provide that for you. Yeah. I'm going to film a promo after this with Max, probably on top of this, to put on my Twitter, and I'm going to do it and explain it to them as that. I think that we're going to give a demo of that this weekend, hopefully after class, and we're going to film it a little bit differently than we normally would a wrestling show, because that's what we've always done. Is we just said, "Oh, screw it, let's just see what works." I hope you guys like it, and I hope you guys join us for it. Right now, we're going to go watch some USWA.
And I hope you guys, and this is, I mean, it's not the most important part, but it's an important part. I hope you guys pay for it.
Hey, Max, let's make a promise right now.
Talk to me. Wait, let me go back.
I'm bad boardy.
Wait, wrong one. Shit. Sorry, folks, I got a lot of transitions here. There we are. All right. Professional show.
No. I think we go back because I need it, actually. I need it up.
Which one?
Can we put this on your Patreon as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. May I ask?
So after the live Twitch, I'll probably leave it on for about a day or so, but then I'll delete it, and this is going to go on Patreon for sure.
Joseph Blair, Wrestle Idiot. I don't... Oh. Is that in the chat?
Yeah, this is Joseph Blair. Hello. Joseph Blair, thank you for joining us.
I didn't know people were watching, so this is
the time and I could have checked and seen how it's like when I can bring up. This is why you need a producer when you do live things, really, and why I would much prefer to be on the like. Don't get me wrong, I want to be like, fuck y'all, I'm a bad guy and good stuff like that, but also the ability to be behind the camera and everything. So.
It's like how everybody does WWE.
Miss you guys. Oh, I miss you too, man.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I could watch and see how many people are watching and but once I got the chat window in there, that kind of lets you know who's watching. We've been talking for 28 minutes and we never asked anyone to talk in the chat, which is you're supposed to do that stuff. I'm not the greatest. I usually do these by myself.
This is good stuff though.
And this one is was a bit emotional.
So speaking about putting in stuff into wrestling, like the fact that we're able to live stream this is hopefully we're removing Crux to is doing less of it on me on my cell phone with no watermark and more of this, and giving you guys a more fulfilling experience. I think when they watch Crux,
you know what would be a really good and I know. I'm going to have to do it for my Patreon because not that I've run out of content, I've run out of original content, so I'm going to take my old podcasts that I know are garbage, and I'm going to listen to those and comment over them, so maybe we just watch some old Kerry Awful matches and you fucking talk about how great Nick is.
I think we could watch, I think it would be fun to do a watch-along with them of the event like we used to do on Twitter.
100% we can do it. So what we're going to do now, Because
Is this like a test run? I think. Oh, no, wait.
What are we doing?
I'm cutting you off. That's a wrestling term. I'm cutting you off. How many of you? How
do
many
you do
people?
it with the thumb or do you do the Stooges?
Depends on the mood.
Respect.
Yeah. If I've got like hands, if I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. I might do double thumbs in.
Oh snap! Okay, yeah, okay.
You know?
I don't think I've ever seen double thumbs.
Well, it's like I'm like no, bang, and then I'll do this. I do this like little like walk like a crab thing afterwards.
See, like that's quality fucking.
Right.
If that ain't worth a goddamn $1 a month,
Maybe.
I don't know what the fuck is.
For me, if anybody, so let's just give them the real life of it. Like, we want to make art, and I don't care if people like it or don't like it. I want to have fun, and I want y'all to have fun, and we want to get paid to do it, so we can invest in Crux and make it a real deal. My goal right now is to try to get a building like Chikara or how CWF Mid-Atlantic was or how Saw was. I want to run different promotions with different themes and different characters. Yeah, I said characters because I'm a piece of shit, and that's how I view the business. It is that to me. I want to make fucking pro wrestling theater, and I want to make little movies and little plays and little adventures. So we're gonna do that through the Patreon. We bought a ring. The ring was told to me as a fixer-upper. We'll probably explain the story of the ring at a different time once this Patreon's up.
You can hear that story for $1 soon.
You'll be able to hear that story. In the interim, I'm gonna start having wrestling matches at my school as bonus content. If one guy's rolling up to the school coming up on tomorrow, you'll see it because we're gonna give it out to Twitter for free first, and also put some extra stuff on Patreon. We're gonna run Yukon Jack's show here shortly, so some of my students can have a first match in front of their parents in a responsible and safe manner following CDC and state guidelines. What I'll also say is I want them to be able to see as big of a crowd as they can, and with everybody at home right now, I think that we could do that this way. And we could do it live and consistently, and maybe avoid some of the traps of YouTube, and maybe avoid some of the stickiness of going through all these platforms and fighting to get pennies on the hours of view times, man. Like, and still do live shows once it's a little bit more free, and putting those on IWTV, who's been really, really good to me.
Yeah.
Shout out to IWTV for going international. This is like the most happy I've been because like this is almost reminds me of fucking Southern Origins. Whenever I used to do that, I got to talk to you as a person, as Kerry, and not Kerry Awful, the wrestler, or the nut job, or the bleeding heart, or the starving artist, or whatever. We're gonna start doing some live shows probably like every other week, and it's not going to be for people from out of town. It's going to be for students and people who are full-time Crux members. There's only going to be a couple matches a show, and it's probably not going to have all the glitz and glamour that you're used to from us, but we're hopefully going to get there. We have about 2 other concepts that we really want to make happen, and they're not going to be Crux. They're going to be wholly new concepts. Part of our growth and part of me wanting to grow as a storyteller is I have to make individual concepts and worlds and universes where things are bound by their own rules. And we can choose to acknowledge that or not acknowledge that about wrestling all we want, but that very much is how I view it. And I think it's neat to push the boundaries of what is wrestling. I think Chikara and Bizarro Lucha do such wonderful jobs of that, and they let you kind of bend the normal laws of nature, right? But then at the same breath, you're going to have different companies that are going to give you hyper-realistic, ultra-violent wrestling, right? Or martial arts infused wrestling or whatever. And we want to be able to do that too. The ring is the biggest adult purchase I've made in my life that didn't involve my wife, kids, house, car, or something like that. Bro. It is. And Max will tell you, I had people try to pay money for that, and I wouldn't do it because if I fail, I want to fail on my own as far as that goes, and no one else needs to fucking take that loss. But our goal is to buy that and to also buy more rings, because our ultimate goal with Crux is to move into a building and to give live shows and to be a company that makes money and is a company that provides art to people and provides wrestling and content, because there's so much sad stuff going on in the world, and I think that it's our job as entertainers to make people smile and laugh or cry or yell or give someone to be yelled at, right? Let people yell at their TV at the characters they hate, and without the world being normal, we can only do what we can do. And for us right now, that's going to be focusing on Crux and the students there and telling stories that hopefully make you enjoy it. And I think that's pretty neat. I think that also by giving you content, I don't feel like I'm going to be panhandling for money. I'm going to give you something to like and enjoy on top of bonus content with everyone else involved. I can't wait to show you who all's been involved in it.
Maybe we can get Nick Iggy to call in twice a month and tell us a dad joke.
Maybe we can get Nick Iggy to tell us to stop wrestling
because tell us that those guidelines aren't enough.
So that's what we're gonna do. And this joining Max right here, we were gonna test this because we literally between like 6 people we're gonna get it was almost a sign from God for us to not get a ring for the last 2 months.
It really was.
It drove all of us crazy, and then luckily we got an offer that we couldn't not take. You know, and as far as signs go, we'll tell that story at a later date.
Yeah. And it was
we'll
like
show pictures. We'll show them pictures of the ring.
Very serious to us. We're like serious conversations and nights where people didn't sleep over.
A lot of conversations about and a lot of people who've been involved to help us make it happen.
Yeah, and if it all comes together, man, I mean,
hopefully we'll make wrestling for you for the next 5 years on our own terms.
Yeah, maybe it'll just be a thing, and it comes and it goes. Maybe it'll be nothing, but
I think
it has a chance to be something that not only is a viable thing, but has a chance to change the way that thing
is done. At least in Tennessee,
in this area. Yeah, in this area, because there are certain things.
What's up, Jason?
There's just you want to should we put the USW? Have we pulled heartstrings enough?
I don't know, because I like talking about it. Like,
can't wait to see the next volume in the Crux story. I will definitely be down to support the product. Thank you.
Jason will tell Team Klein. Jason can tell you the stories I've talked about having a kid, the pressures of it, running the school. He messaged me the other day because I was like, man, today's a kick in the teeth while it was over the ring, trying to figure out the ring.
100%. Like to without details, like. There's been moments over this. There's been moments over the beginning of this, whatever the company, our ideas, the last 4 or 5 months of our lives, where we've looked at each other and went, "Should we just be friends?
Yeah.
Should we just? I don't want to lose your friendship."
Well,
like,
also,
it's very serious to us.
There's been a lot of back and forth. Like, should we even try to gamble it right now with the way that the world is? Joseph Blair, real quick, we should be picking it up in the next 2 weeks. Like, no joke. When I made my Facebook is now private now, per the request of me and my wife having a long talk. That's why it's just James Cooper and photos of me and my baby now. But I have to make post public now because it's basically trying to share information about it. We got offered this ring from somebody that was close, and I'll go into more details on that for the Patreon later. But to me, after all these horrible, here's the ring in the U-Haul.
I hope not, man. U-Hauls cost money.
It would literally just
That's another thing. You go, all right, you got a thing, and like we're over here today looking at trailers and shit. They're expensive as fuck, man.
Oh my god! So like, I don't want to say his name, but a wrestler's dad had offered to help me go get the ring because I'm short of meeting resistance the entire time of trying to get a ring, no matter what we did or what money we've thrown together or what happened. Something had always happened to fuck the deal up. And we just couldn't figure out how to make it work. And then
it seemed like the universe was telling us not to do it.
And then when we all pretty much gave up, we got one last shot airdropped into our lap, and I was like, we got to do it. And there's a story on top of it that makes it special, but we'll go into that later.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go pick it up in the next 2 weeks. I have shifted money around that I don't have. Because I'm not going to be able to get a ring in this scenario or in the situation of how we're getting it ever again, because it'll go right back to us trying to figure out how to finance on our house.
Yeah, we need we need the Patreon to work. We need if we record a thing and it's for $5 for sale, we need you to buy it. We need you to convince your friends to buy it,
or at least like GIF it or something, so it feels like people are seeing it.
That's how we're going to that's how we're gonna because right now it's a situation where it's very sink or swim in our first few months, really 4, 5, 6 months. If we haven't gotten at least some progress going in 6 months, he's gonna be looking at a baby who's over a year old.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like 41 years old, going like, man, like.
Well, that's the other cool thing about it, that even if this works at a bare minimum and it's self sustaining,
Mm-hmm.
right? I can justify doing it, and it's gonna do more than just let me and my buddies create art.
Yeah.
It's gonna give new students a chance to be seen by a lot of people, which that anyone down south will tell you how hard that is. I'm even in the Midwest, in all of it. Like, there's only specific Midwest, depending on what part it is, you can pop off at and like get noticed. But down here, it's just not that way. There's only very select few places. I think that by growing Crux and growing with it, it's going to give us the opportunity to let our students grow and let the talents that maybe don't get a light shined on them, a chance to do that. I think one of my mistakes earlier in booking and doing stuff is I have the worst time telling people no. I told I made so I've handed over a lot of money to make sure that everybody got paid and everybody was taken care of, and I felt that their needs come before me. Also, even with people that were just doing stuff to help out and try to get on, made sure that I was able to put money in their pocket, and because I think it's like the right thing to do. And when you book a show, of course, that's the right thing to do. That's why it's so neat to me right now to see a lot of my friends who are wrestlers who are donating their time at the school. Old students, new students, people who just want to come and get better. I've charged drop-in fees, but I'm such a bleeding heart that if someone doesn't have money, I'm gonna be like, oh, it's okay, we can learn today. What do you want to learn? What can I do to make them better? And now they're all coming together because they want this to succeed. They want Crust to succeed for me and for them, I think, but it's really neat.
And that's the thing; it can
crazy.
be so beneficial for everyone.
We can help
them
out.
Us, and you guys, because if you love pro wrestling, well, you want good pro wrestling and more pro wrestling, and if we can provide that not only on the internet but right here in Tennessee, that's amazing to me.
I think that I know that I've been very vocal about improving Tennessee wrestling, and I feel like I've been able to contribute my portions to that hand over foot in a lot of ways. But this is the next logical step for me, and this is where I see if I can really do it. That's the other thing. Everybody's seen me. I will take a shoestring budget, and buddy, I will book the dog shit out of it. And I'll make sure that everybody who just wants to get a chance, even if it's just a scramble spot, whatever they need to take care of. I think that also now, the idea of promoting in Tennessee and making it something that we can do again will be something that adds to wrestling as a whole down here. I think there's very few people that do Tennessee wrestling right. I think that places like SCI and Subgrabs and NGW and seeing even people with Kapow, and you're seeing, and TWE, of course, TWE,
Chattanooga.
It's a small and tight community, and I think that I'm also at a point in my career now where I want to further focus on that.
Yeah.
I'm not bashful in telling people how highly I think of Billy Rock, and it has nothing to do with his wrestling career, to be completely honest with you. I've seen all the people that he trained and how cool and smart and nice they were, educated, respectful, and how much Indiana's scene was defined by his lineage and his students. And that's what I'm ready to do in Tennessee, and I'm ready to do that while still telling stories. I think a lot of people, without naming names, we were heavily influenced by Class Wars, you know what I mean, in the presentation of it. I was heavily influenced by even zany, weird shit like CWF Mid-Atlantic, which is one of my favorite concepts and spots. That's our big end of the pledge goal, right? Is trying to do that.
Yeah.
Have something like an NWA saw with nice cameras and nice lights and nice
Look
rings.
at that smile. That's a real smile, man. Just thinking about this thing coming together. That's a real deal smile, people. Those are dimples.
Oh, the stream died. It said the stream died.
No, it's going. What?
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Maybe it did.
All right, we're gonna check the stream right quick.
I forgot we're streaming. It's weird because like
Yeah,
I can do this when it's not live. Like if this was like just like there's like such not a there's not a difference, but for whatever reason it feels weird because it's like I've never addressed people like a normal person via live stream. Southern Origin, sir.
Yeah,
sure.
we're going.
Click to unmute.
Maybe hit the.
You might have to refresh it.
Yeah, hit your refresh button, maybe. What about that? The American stream.
That's good stuff. We got 3 people watching.
What a great name.
I can't believe we're at 45 minutes.
That may not even be correct either.
If we
could maintain 3 people. If we had one of these, if we had one of these on Twitch and we maintained 3 people watching what we're doing right now, we could become an affiliate. And just like I did for the person who will not be named, anyone who already has an Amazon Prime account who doesn't give a sub on Twitch, you sign up for a Twitch account and click a button, and a thing that is free, doesn't cost you a dime, I think will give us like a quarter or 50 cents.
Whoa, I'm watching it. There's a delay between the 2 deals. Can we show them what the screen looks like, or would that make it explode?
No, I could definitely do that right now with a click of a button. Webcam and Content Chrome.
Yeah.
Bam. There you are.
So it's weird because there's this delay, right? Yeah, so anyways, this is an example of stuff we're looking to add to it. Like being able to stream and actually have production and graphics and cool stuff like that. Like,
yeah, see, so we're about...
I've never been able to figure this one out on my iPhone.
And let's say you guys, like we have a Patreon tier or whatever, and you guys are like, hey man, we want you guys to watch a video with us, whatever it is, and I know Hulu and anybody with Hulu, they're gonna have watch parties and stuff pretty soon. Maybe we set up something like that. Where's my thing here? Here we go. So for my Twitch, when I was trying to get my whole Twitch thing going, I thought to myself, like, wouldn't it be cool if I could watch the wrestling that I grew up on with?
Is it not showing on?
No, it's the delay. And this part, see, this is the extra time to actually have to go out and this is also another reason I don't watch the stream, because I tend to pay attention to the delay instead of what's happening live in real life. This entrance,
Look at that.
brilliant. This
Over the shoulder, that Lawler just had.
so good.
Where's he walking out that he needs a leather jacket, but he's in a wrestling tights?
That's a valid point. And I think they filmed that in the bathroom of the Mid-South Coliseum. Look at the Mid-South Coliseum, son. Look, Bill Dundee, madder than hell. He had to come out there and lift Jerry Lawler up. That was how madder than hell face. So this is where I spent my childhood, bro, was on those. I may very well be in there.
All right. Hello again, everybody. Corey Macklin sitting along ringside. Another big day of USWA Championship Wrestling. Without my friend Dave Brown. Dave has the day off today. He'll be back next week. Boy, what a big show we've got today. Opening bout of the day, Brian Christopher in the single bout against Bart Sawyer. That's the opening bout we'll have here today. The Moondogs and Richard Lee, they'll be here later on. Flamboyant Eric Embry, Jeff Jarrett, Robert Fuller. The expiration of time versus Doug Masters and Tony Falk. There's some things that developed.
Man, I want to go buy a suit. I think that a suit. I look at it like Michael Jordan.
We'll be back. Brian Christopher.
When Mike and even Cody Rhodes, when he left the WWE, he would not go out. That old man, I know that old man in that jacket right there. Oh, fuck. That's my childhood right here.
So I was like that, except I used to do that at the TNA Asylum. Like your USWA was my NWA TNA.
Anytime you ever hear me do commentary, just know there's a little Dave Brown, there's a little Lance Russell, and there's a, fucking hell, the boxing match, bro. So this is where they turned Brian Christopher a heel. He was a babyface with this other kid, and they were a tag team. And
it's not Scott Taylor. Who is it?
That is, man, I can't remember his name.
When was this? I have no idea.
Brian that time, Brian got out there.
This is the transition.
Boy, they are going after each other. Tony with the right hand. Underneath him, Brian. Brian Christopher landing a couple couple of punches. Trying to take Tony Williams down. Puts Tony down. Kicks him right in the midsection. Hey, slow Tony across the ring there. Big right foot in the midsection. Got Tony knocked down. Now Brian just slung him straight across the ring. Tony's laid out there trying to get back on his feet. 7 count by referee Frank Morrell. 8. Oh, Brian slugged him with a big right hand as referee Frank Morrell had the 8 count. Won't give Tony a chance to get up. Referee Frank Morrell at 5 now on the count. Maybe a count out of Tony won't get up. Tony. There's a count out. There it is. Brian is the winner. Brian Christopher declared the winner. He's the winner. As they count.
1990 whatever of USWA that this is.
Christopher will be here today. Here he comes now. Brian Christopher got his hands full in about today. Brian, you've got your hands full with Bart Sawyer in the signal about coming.
Did you see that, Corey?
Yeah, I saw it.
I went down there and I showed everybody. Just what I said came true. I said I was going to go out there and whoop Tony, and that's what I did. You see? Tony, you lay down every time you step in the ring, and you did it in the ring against me boxing. You're nothing. Oh, two of these big right hands is all you could take. You see, you couldn't pry yourself off the mat with a crowbar. You're nothing, you know? How'd you like it, Corey? Did you like it? And now I got Bart Sawyer in here today. Another thing, Eddie Marlin, see, you come out here and you try to treat me like a Saturday morning piece of meat. I'm not that. That's not my style. And I proved to you and I proved to all these people.
Give me your social security number, Joseph.
What is Eric Embry doing out here?
Look at Eric Embry.
Oh, boy.
Your style, Brian. You're all right. But he's a little bit like me. He don't take nothing off of Eddie Marlin, do you? You don't have to take nothing off that old suit, man. Oh, Brian, listen, you got a tough match today. You got that Bart Sawyer. Yeah, he's gonna be a little. He'll be a little tough for you. But I tell you what, I'm gonna do because you got such a good attitude. I'm gonna stand out here and I'm gonna watch. And if you want any advice,
my bad. So that's my fault. Because I turned it up so we could hear that. We should be wearing headphones right now so we can hear the Memphis wrestling.
I'm not doing anything until I get a tweet from Joseph Blair.
Are you or are you not the real Joseph Blair? Sorry about that, Team Klein. That's another reason. That's another reason you need a fucking producer. So Tony Williams.
It was my buddy Joe. I didn't know it was Joe at first. I was like, oh wait. That's like you see me like I'm a little confused for a second, and then it dawned on me. And I'm like, oh god damn it.
So look at that. They set it up with a little look at those posts on that fucking ring.
They're like a motherfucker.
Hell yeah, they are. I used to have duct tape in the middle of it too. I remember it.
Joe, I'm gonna send you a picture of the ring. Fuck it, I can send you a picture of the ring right now.
Yeah. If you're that Joe, you can see it right now.
Jason's already seen it. I'm pretty sure I sent it to Jason the other day. Hold on, where are we at on here?
Look at the hair though. The thing about Memphis, every single one of these guys has a different shade of bleach blonde. It's like peroxide blonde, paid somebody to do it blonde, and then let my wife do the tin foil in the kitchen and left it on way too fucking long blonde. That's good leapfrog.
I didn't see it because I was sending a picture of the ring.
I'm pretty sure that they put up Tony Williams on the screen, and I'm also pretty sure that ain't Tony Williams. That's Bart Sawyer, right?
No, I don't fucking. Maybe. I watched a USWA video the other day with Madman Pondo on it. So
you know what else I'm thinking? Now I'm thinking I may have already watched this episode of USWA on Twitch before, but it's fine because it ain't up there no more. So that is, for those who don't know, the ref. Do you know who that ref is in the red shirt?
Don't need Eric out here.
No,
that is Kevin Lawler.
Christopher.
That's Lawler's other kid.
Yeah.
So right now, 67% of the people in the ring are Jerry Lawler's children.
I wish more people did stuff like this with the kick up where they're like, yeah, come on, I took an arm drag and I'm up. I want that.
Yeah.
It's like two guys getting ready to fight and they're just talking shit. Like
they're turned up to 11. This is animated. Like no difference than why you want big robes with big feathers and shit. Because a regular boxing robe is cool, but it ain't Ric fucking Flair cool.
Yeah.
Ric Flair cool is rappers writing a song about you 40 fucking years later. You ain't Ric Flair, Cole. Ain't nobody wrote a fucking song about Evander Holyfield's robe. Nobody.
Maybe I don't. What? Atomic Drop. Great Atomic Drop.
Somebody probably has written several songs about Evander Holyfield.
Oh, yeah, they have.
That's a claim with no basis and why everyone on the internet should fact check things that they see. So Christopher's definitely a heel now.
Bro, I shared like 3 things on the internet the other day where it was like from 2 years ago. I was like, oh, fucking, I just got off. I can't do that anymore. I want to talk about the wrestling ring on the internet and then like zany comic books in this fucking global business class that I can't fucking pass.
The dope ass little stars. That TV studio. Without that TV studio, there's no way the USWA.
That's Gypsy Joe with a fucking curtain on it, man. That's 100% pro.
There were those big heavy sound curtains too, so they just looked real cool when they came through them.
I almost said to cry. Wait. Was that this way? Quiet nose boot.
Look at all that duct tape. That duct tape ain't even fresh, man. Y'all can't put fresh fucking duct tape on the ring for the TV viewing.
I don't remember him wearing these weird bikers. They're like Mongo style bikers.
Well, I saw Brian Christopher go through his entire career, like up close and personal, basically. Except for the ass end of it.
I always remember him having tiger striped long tights like they showed earlier. He loved tiger prayer.
Well, that was super popular in Memphis. It may still be.
Man, I'm just gonna start telling embarrassing stories on here. I'm just gonna be like,
hey, for $1, them shits ain't free.
Shit. What was that? Man trips on own feet. Elbow drop. Sick ass elbow though. Man. You don't see that.
Wait, was that the finish? Look, that elbow drop's the finish. Oh, dude.
I can hear him. I can hear the Brian Christopher laugh in my head. I can't do it because my voice sounds like I gargle fucking gravel and Listerine.
Look at him. So that's you're literally watching probably the first heel turn of Brian Christopher with Eric Embry there, or maybe a late heel turn.
Did you ever go to Kick-Ass Wrestling in Memphis?
I
they were like ECW, USWA.
In '98, I left Memphis, but it was sometime around.
Maybe.
Whenever the Attitude Era started is when I started really getting into stuff like
Tiger Stripes, bingo,
vagina, and
single
marijuana.
Driver Tony! It's Driver Tony Falk!
Look at that.
Good Lord, it's Uncle Tony!
Yeah,
USWO legend, baby!
I don't want to talk ill about anybody.
Tony fucking rules. I love Tony.
Like, I wouldn't.
Tony's the shit.
I've told you several times, Tony Falk was the linchpin of USWA when I watched it. Because when all those other cats would be off doing big shows and whatnot, Tony Falk would be there telling the story, hammering it home. He was fucking awesome. And I met him once, and he was the sweetest guy ever.
Can I say something that Garrett pitched the other day? Because let's just test run it. Let's just test run what Crux Wrestling
Look at that mustache. Holy shit. That don't even look real.
Bro, I don't want to say his, I'm not going to say his wrestler name, but one of my friends had pitched basically like, hey, what if we just brought Uncle Tony Falk in as commissioner of Crux? And I said, if we can figure that out, I mean, he wants to hang out, okay. Hell yeah. Dude. When I saw him on the random NWA stuff's always entertaining. I like the new NWA. I think it's sick. Like,
it's still pretty comical to me, though. There's some guys where you'll be like, oh, I could get this guy to come in, and I'm like, because it's like you've worked with a lot of guys that were my because for other people, when people...
You're talking about Tony. You're talking about Tony Falk?
100%. A hero of mine.
Dude, I get texts from the gym from people like Jesse, like, I think Tony's at the gym. Hell yeah.
Man, heroes of mine. People ask, or to tell you all the time, oh, man, I was a WWF guy, or oh, I was a WCW guy. I was a USWA guy. 100%. This is, not to speak ill of that lady that was just talking, and I didn't hear her promo, but it seems like if you were the girlfriend of somebody, back then. All right, I'm turning him up. Here we go.
Surprise! It's the biggest announcement in my life, Corey. I'm going to make it right here on this program in a little while. Hell, I don't know how bad I want to hear it. Here comes Richard Leeds, manager of the International Roughnecks and Bulldogs.
holders of the World Tag Team titles. And there goes the bell, and here we go. The Moondogs jumping before the bell.
Bro, please.
They're about to beat the fuck out of these dudes.
Look at this shit. Yeah.
God damn.
Yo, random. Only I think
And
maybe
these dudes loved it too.
So there's 8 billion Moondogs, right? Straight up, like there is a lot. Some of them will claim that they're canon and give them like fat jokes and stuff.
Larry Latham, or is that's a.
Hell yeah.
These are my Moondogs. These two cats here, Moondog Spike and Moondog Spot.
Who's the guy in the ring that just took the belt?
The only.
Why don't we just saw Joe Cagle just like Cagle just randomly as one of these guys?
We're streaming, but you're fine. Come on now.
You know what you did? You signed your death warrant, dog. You have signed your
Shit, what was I gonna say? You distracted me. Don't make noise
We're
though.
talking about the Moondogs. Real, it would have one of the, I'll say one of these guys was Cable randomly because that'd be hysterical. Only people who go to the Joe.
There has to be a better. Dude, I looked up Cagle immediately when you told me he was in Memphis Wrestling.
So Cable used to work for like Vince Senior back in the day. Worked in Memphis and a couple other places.
Oh my God! Don't you see him hit him with that chair? Oh, disgusting. Wholly disgusting. So,
that has cross. It looks like that has cross.
whatever the better name for jobber is, unless that people are just comfortable with that. Enhancement talent.
So
The only one I ever knew was a guy named Cowboy Chris Frazier.
and I don't like the term jobber. I think it's fine if you're like a bad guy cutting a promo as a bad guy that's like a shtick or whatever. Like
It seems disrespectful because look
Yeah.
what that guy's going through right now. Oh my God! Right in the hands!
It looked like
In the hands!
It
Fuck!
looked like he got his face. I thought he got his nose.
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't doubt
And then
it.
this guy came in here to make a quick,
You know how
I'm
much
gonna
he
be on
got paid.
TV.
I know how much he got paid because I know how much Chris
Is
Frazier got
that
paid.
Chris Michaels? Is Chris Michaels the other guy?
No. It could. I mean,
Maybe.
let me turn it up and we'll hear the call.
Jumping on these guys even before the bell sounded. Oh boy, I tell you. Let's get back over here. They got that table on the guys. Can't get to the bell. This is bad. Boy, I tell you. The Moondogs come out of here. Richard, why don't you take them out of here? Now this is bad.
I definitely do it. It may be a Lance Russell thing. I did it when you were kicking the shit out of somebody at the GCW show. They would always say, "Can we get some help out here? Can we get some help? Oh, look at that, Eddie Marlin. That motherfucker, he inserted himself into every storyline and every TV show I ever saw. Get the fuck off TV, Eddie
We're just
Marlin."
gonna book this as Crux, I think.
I hope
think
so.
this is just Crux now.
I hope so.
We're just gonna have people beat up, and I'm just gonna have someone write stuff on chairs. You know, I think everybody's gonna be excited about Frank coming down. So like Frank being a
Frank Wyatt.
full-time member of Crux is sick. Oh, that's gonna be good. He's coming to
We
his
need to
first class
have
tomorrow.
Cody Morton build us one of those
Announcers desk.
announcer's desks that's just empty on the thing.
Yeah,
flip
I wish.
over and
I
whatnot.
wonder how many people on like the outside in just knew how many guys had like 5 jobs inside of Crux.
You know what his story is? This is Paul Lee, correct? Is that his name in the red jacket?
To be honest, I have no recollection of ever watching this or knowing the context.
Let's take a break. We'll be
Everything, like, so when I watched USWA, it was at the tail end of it, so we're talking like the early 90s.
Oh, so you saw the worst of it.
So it'd be like PG-13 versus random WWF guy coming in. But
Nation of Domination, PG-13. Good God, how dumb
that's like
was that?
95, 90s. That's gotta
That's
be like
late,
96, 97, even, maybe.
I think,
I've never.
Richard Lee, Richard Lee, there you go. Look at that. Tell me Jeff Jarrett don't have one of the top 3 goddamn punches in the history of punch.
Jarrett's punches are good. Like, I like Jarrett.
Do you think he's too animated with how far he pulls it back,
Not for
though?
my taste. My wrestling flavor is somewhere between Looney Tunes, cartoons, and X-Men comic books. So more animated and over the top and zany, and like whatever it is, it's fine. I still
Jarrett had that hair, buddy.
Oh yes,
Look at the
Samson, like,
volume on that hair. Oh, shit.
how much conditioner? How much conditioner? How many rinse lather?
Half of his payout went in that hair every show. I promise you that.
Nobody on here who knows me. I don't think who Hammerjack is, but Hammerjack is the best thing in here I've ever smelled.
He was very nice to my kids at
Hammer's good.
a wrestling promotion, which I will not name because fuck them. They're dead and gone, but fuck them.
Can I say it?
Yeah. Yeah, fuck them.
I never worked for Crossfire. I never knew Marcus.
Oh, piece of shit. Yeah, you fucking dick.
I had gone.
I'm sure he's somewhere in the world right now fucking somebody over Marcus.
I just remember building Eastwood because of Crossfire. Holy shit.
What is that?
I had just started training. Jared bought the institutional size and tickets. I had just started training with Dutch. It was like the first class I taken. I went to Crossfire for that night. And during that show at night, Bill was there. And I was like, I went over to Bill Dundee and he's like, you know, buy my book. Years later, I knew. That used to be like, I own both of those things. Great reads. The stories I ordered in the book were even crazy.
I own Bill Dundee's book. It's in there on my shelf. It's actually it's a good book. Yeah, no, for sure, yeah. Because you get the perspective, you get his perspective on the Macho Man parking lot thing. He talks about, he talks a lot about being. It's fun to read Jerry Lawler's book and then read Bill Dundee's book because it's the same stories, but ain't neither one of them the same. You know, and you're like subsquares in between all this shit.
There's Beowulf and then there's the retelling of Beowulf.
I think the name of Bill Dundee's book is If you don't want the answers, don't ask the questions.
Wait, I don't understand. Did they tag? I wasn't paying attention.
Dude, this is real AEW tag rules.
No, that's still awesome. All wrestling is awesome. It don't matter.
Look at that jacket. Look at that fucking jacket. Look at that robe. Tennessee Stud. I think he once sued his brother over the name Tennessee Stud. So.
Oh shit.
Yeah, because Ron Fuller would use it and Robert Fuller would use it, and each one of them say that they were the original Tennessee Stud.
Are those plastic pieces sewn in, or is that because they're too big to be rhinestone?
I think.
Jeff Jarrett getting his young Ric Flair on this. Look at that.
And we talk about
when Jared was at WCW, I was so torn because I was like, the Horsemen aren't really real bad guys anymore. And then Jared came in as a Memphis, not truly a chicken shit because he got the job done in the ring. You know what I mean? He was a U.S. champion. But always trying to fuck Mongo over and do shit like, I was like, what are they doing? They're finally on the right path. Shout out to all those sick ass Mongo gifts that are getting done too.
Oh, dude, whoever's running that Mongo Twitter that has the Mongo gifts. And I watched all that shit, dude. I loved that shit. I've even watched it on the WWE network when I subscribed to it. I don't remember Mongo fucking up every single time he was on TV. It had to be every single time. How are there that many gifts?
I do too, but there's stuff like, it might have been Eric Stevens or someone I posted. He's like, unironically, this is either like, was a fuck up or this is like fifth world
shit stirring shitbag, Double J. Come on now. That everybody has to have at least once in their life went JEFF.
JARRET.
Jeff Jarrett.
What were we talking about a second ago? Before the
we were talking about Rhinestones, Ric Flair.
After that,
shout out to all the Mongo gifts.
Mongo. So some of it
pro shit. It's a professional show.
Oh, slave forward. Really good. How are you?
Don't worry about it, guys. Kerry's new to this live streaming thing. He has conversations on his phone while he's talking to you. You'll have to forgive him.
Anyone who's experienced me in real life just knows.
Hey, that's why you got the pro.
Anywho,
look at there, R.I.P. Richard Lee. They even put in the airbrush around the side of that motherfucker. Everybody's got a chair with somebody's name on it.
When is airbrushing gonna come back? That's the wrestling. That
fucking now.
I think
we should have an airbrush guy at our show to airbrush people T-shirts.
I think that's one of those projects that we're working on. Airbrush T-shirts have to be part of the deal, right?
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Who do we know that airbrushes?
Find one.
Hey man, if you're out there and you airbrush and you're local,
yeah, well, we'll
look at that. Look at his face. Tell me, we can't even hear this now. I know you guys can. Tell me you don't know that motherfucker's mad. Just watching him. That's a mad motherfucker. He's been through some shit.
Hill right now when Cotton Hill's just going like real dig deep on Hank.
He's got to be. How old do you reckon?
Whoa, look at that hair.
Fuck yeah, look at that hair, son. She had the back font, the boo font, the you font, and me font. Son of a bitch.
Excellent.
So all of those people that are in those stands, I used to stand outside for hours with them. My dad and I, which still sounds weird to me this day, and I want to say me and my dad because that's how I talk, but my dad and I would line up in Memphis at 5 a.m. because this show went live Saturday mornings at like 8. So if you wanted to get
Was
in,
it that early?
fuck yeah, it was, son. It might even been 7.
I remember. So when I was growing up,
It came on before cartoons.
That's right. Again,
Up here in the Nashville area, it would have been later.
I thought it would have been on 11.
It was. It may have been 10 o'clock in the later.
But I still.
The
we're
later
talking about
years.
early '90s for me watching it. You know, so
Yeah.
that's different.
It would
than
go
when you were
on
a kid.
right after. Yeah, this is definitely later Memphis because Eddie Marlin and Corey Macklin are calling the fucking show. Dave Brown's busy. Lance Russell's retired.
You know what we should do? We should hit up. Yes.
So
Cody.
for an entire episode, I was trying to
That's an
decide
awesome name.
whether that's Reggie B. Fine, which I think is a better name.
That's a great name too.
I was like, I think that's Reggie. Reggie B. Fine was another one of the staples, the linchpin.
Look at that mustache Ryan's got on right there.
Oh yeah, he's got the fucking that Theo Vaughn goddamn mullet going on there too.
Theo Vaughn, that guy, what a real world deep cut. I just watched a Family Guy cutscene in my mind.
Bro, Theo Vaughn cut a promo as the Rat King in response to
The Miz or something.
No, it was in response to the other comedian guys whose name I can't remember saying that people who watched wrestling were stupid and that it was.
White boy, go beware.
So fun story about the Dirty White Boy. My dad knew the enhancement talent Chris Frazier because he banged my aunt, right? So he gets us in the studio early, Chris Frazier does, and we're sitting in the lobby for way too long. And my dad is not the kind of guy you want sitting in the lobby of the Channel 5 studio. So they say, hey, do you guys mind going to sit in with Miss Texas, best female wrestler I've ever seen in my life, and I'll probably die saying that. So we go and we sit down. And they bring the Dirty White Boy out, and he starts cutting a promo, and he fucks up, and he starts cutting a promo, and he fucks up, and he looks directly at me. And I mean locks eyes with me, and he goes, get him out of here. And they walked us out of the thing. And that was the first time that I ever knew. And I wish they'd have never walked us in there. That was the first time that I ever knew wrestling was quote unquote a work. Because I saw the Dirty White Boy redoing his promo, and I realized even as a kid, wait a minute. If he needs me to leave so he can get this right, what the, like, something ain't right here, man. I didn't know anything else. I mean, I can be straight up honest. Even with as much as I watched it, I'm still completely ignorant to wrestling, and I find out new shit every single day. I look back at the podcast that I had where I would watch wrestling and I would criticize things, and I was like, what a fucking moron you are. You couldn't just enjoy the things that you enjoyed. You had to criticize something you had no knowledge about, really.
I think people should be able to criticize wrestling.
Within the perspective of it, though.
That Hannah Kimura stuff, dude,
That's
stupid,
fucking
but, like,
ridiculous.
That Hannah Kimura stuff made me want to just delete social media.
Yeah.
I just didn't want it anymore. You know, people won't stop in real life. Like, I watch a lot of YouTube stuff too, like YouTube content creators or whatever, and like the drama or whatever that ensues with them, where people will dox people in real life. Like, I don't care if somebody hates me as a wrestler or hates my stuff, but like, I feel like I can't talk to people like this anymore because, like, if you try to, people, it's almost like you can get vilified, right? So it's like
100%.
You can either choose to be a character 1,000% of the time, which I don't want to do, nor like I want to be able to tweet and do stuff, but like I had to find this like happy medium between the two. So like,
it seems unhealthy to do it either way. Like,
yeah, and like I don't mind people I actually know seeing photos of my daughter, and I post a lot on my Instagram too. But like now that I have a daughter, it's like, man, maybe I should have put up this like wall. I don't know. I think doing it like this is the most productive way now because I can talk to people in like a controlled environment, or we can share stuff in a controlled environment. And if people don't like it, you know, you don't got to listen to it, and you don't got to watch it. It doesn't have to be shared, you know.
And that's the beautiful thing about it is I think in this environment you get a lot of constructive criticism.
I think so.
I was doing these live shows and somebody said, man, I think it would look cooler if you put your logo up there and like put the stuff in boxes. So that's where all this came from. And then a guy was like, hey man, I'll help you out with that. His @Deviated Deviant, I'll shout him out to the end of the earth. He's the one that made all these little background logos and everything for me. He made my life significantly easier. And like, I would love to be able to bring him on and pay him a little bit of money, but I mean, I gotta get Bad Morty somewhere where I'm not fucking costing myself money.
We literally had a discussion about like how to run a charity show and not lose money. Like, how does that even happen, right? Like,
yeah. I was running it through my head, and I was like, "How do you even do this? How is this a thing?"
We've been fantasy booking what we're gonna do with this ring once we get it in like the next 2 weeks, and it's like, I don't know. That's the other thing. Like,
the weight of it has been a lot on us.
I messaged one of my buddies for one of.
Look at Miss Texas.
She was awesome. Is awesome. She's a great wrestler. One of the best. Like, legit, like, awesome. Like, Tasha used to wrestle with her in Memphis.
I guarantee you, if the 4 people on screen right now had a fist fight,
she just killed all of them.
She would win it. She was the baddest. I'm sure she is. I don't know her. I haven't. She's a bad motherfucker, dude. Tough.
Tasha back in the day would talk about how Tasha's tough because of that.
They beat the fuck out of her, dude. Like, she was a 300-pound linebacker and never shook.
I'm gonna have to roll out of here because I didn't realize it's almost 7 now.
Dude, we've been going for an hour and fucking 15.
So,
well, let's cut Miss Texas off.
I've got a couple things I do want to say
before
we get out of here. Let's cut the dirty white boy off
and let's go widescreen. Yeah, let's. All right, there we go.
So we're gonna be changing stuff over soon enough. Before we get out of here, this is a trial run, but we're gonna try to use stuff between all of our resources now to make like a real business out of this. And I think also we're going to have fun doing it. I think that is going to be neat. We're going to do little things like this, like watching wrestling. Or maybe we have a podcast like other companies do. Or maybe we just have fun. And maybe no one likes it. Maybe 5 people like it. Maybe 15,000 people like it. I don't know. But we're going to try it. And we're going to gamble it. And it's going to start this weekend. I'm going to film some matches tomorrow. Depending on who comes, if 1 or 2 people come, you might see some pretty cool matches, to be honest with you. And we're going to film it a different way, kind of like the original Crux deal. Everything that we do like this is going to be addressed like this, like real people talking about a real life passion of professional wrestling that they have, and everything that you see from Crux will very much be Kerry Awful and Mr. Stuff in that universe. And we want to have the joys of giving you, B-list Walking Dead while also giving you B-list, the Talking Dead afterwards, right? We're going to have different guys at different times, different things that we want to show you, not just the matches and not just one of the Tuesday night Twitter fight things that's coming up is going to be different than normal and hopefully get people to go to the Patreon. We want to be able to give you podcasts. We want you guys to be able to play video games on Twitch with Mr. Stuff and the Smoking Buds. We want to have Jimmy's Big Corner where Jimmy's going to give a 20-minute promo about what grinds his gear in society. And if you know Jimmy, he's got a lot of hot takes.
Juicy Jimmy's got a lot of grinded gears. You guys are going to love it.
We're bringing in more people to help join the staff. We're going to show you more stuff of what we're doing outside of just sharing social media clips about what we did in class today. I would like to do what Santino Bros School did and go a little bit extra and provide a little bit more extra content with that besides, hey, here are arm drags. I want to explain them maybe. We don't know, but we're going to find out on the way. Before we go with all of that, and for anyone, if people watch this on your stream, please follow us on Instagram, on social media, at Kerry Awful, at Crux Wrestling, at Maxwell Classic. We're going to start giving out more information as it happens, and we're going to hopefully get some more investments. We're about to do a bunch of other stuff, and Max, I've tried to do this whole time, so this is how we should end it, I think.
Yeah.
The people who are watching now, Jason, Joe, and whoever else might be watching, and everybody else, hello.
And everyone who's, like, if you're watching this later tonight or tomorrow, or it's 3 in the morning in England or wherever you're at.
Yeah, whoever watches this, whenever you do, thanks. And thanks for spending your time with us.
Absolutely.
Thanks for even mentioning comments in the chat log too. That's what we want to do, and we want the Crux shows to be almost like this.
Yeah.
Almost a reason for all of us to join together, like we're watching TV and watching wrestling together. Max and I are working on new belts for the company. The lineage of the PWF, former CCW, former whatever belt before it was that, is a old Tri-States belt that Jimmy Felcher has loaned me over the last X amount of years for Crux. We're working on a new belt for Crux. We're also having an idea. I wonder, if we can get some new Patreons for Bad Boy, or new Patreons for Crux. If we can get new Patreon members for either or, how much would it take for us to get a belt for Bad Boy? in canon, Bad Boy could be a title at Crux, just like it could at Revive, just like it could anywhere else. But wait, what do you think it would take?
It honestly, man, if we had a $5 tier and a couple of people were behind the things that we filmed this weekend, and a couple of people were with donating, Bad Bordy has a little bit of Patreon money built up already. I think that we could do everything we wanted to do belt wise very soon.
I would like to. If we get enough demand from your normal Patreon members who are already watching this or will catch this on your Patreon for the week, how much do you think that they would have to donate for us to do one night only, under new rules, new characters? No, like I could not be Kerry Awful on it. You cannot be Mr. Stuff. Or maybe you could because it is Mr. Stuff's show. But like Jaden couldn't be Jaden. The Buds couldn't be the Buds.
I do like what you're saying.
We would have to make brand new characters. How much money would it take to finance that on a Patreon? And we just do Bad Bordy Wrestling one night only with fan-picked gimmicks, fan-picked names, within reason and tasteful also.
Yeah.
And maybe there's another tier, and we just let them decide who.
Yeah, interaction. That's always what I've driven myself, because I mean, I would, if a huge company was like, hey, here's fucking $100,000 a year to do podcasts. I'll work for iHeartRadio or whatever fucking horrible Empire Darth Vader corporation is handing out money, but in the reality of it, I think I can be happy, I can be fruitful, and I can make the world a better place. But the way that I have to do that is with connection and interaction, because we live in a world where everyone has the ability to do what we're doing right now. And I want it to feel like every time you see a new Crux show, if it's got, or a Bad Bordy show, people know, especially with Bad Bordy, when I would get messages all the time. I bought these 2 new cameras specifically to film Crux Wrestling, and I talked about it on the Patreon, how I was investing all of this money into these cameras, and I got tons of messages of people like, this is so cool. I know how you've been talking about wanting to film wrestling. People were super excited. They paid for those cameras. Yeah, it took 8 months, but they paid for them, and they were super happy to pay for them, because I am personally connected to whatever 43 people, whatever it is.
And that's the thing, is that Rome's not going to be built in a day.
No.
But we spent the last year having a blast on Tuesday nights with an iPhone, you know, and a USB microphone.
And we've talked about it we've talked and talked, and we believe in us. Granted, we're us.
Yeah.
But we believe in us. And we've talked about it.
We also believe in the people that we're putting in these spots too, and the students, and the past students, and the people that are going to be students eventually.
This is going to be some real good wrestling that we're able to put together when we get this ring.
And real weird wrestling, and real strong wrestling, and real, I don't know. It's going to be whatever we need it to be. It's going to be a little bit of everything.
And it's gonna, and to a certain extent, it's gonna be what the people who support us want it to be. There's gonna be a lot of nights where we're like, for $5, you can make anybody wrestle anybody.
I think that's it. Actually, I think that's it. I mean, how about this?
Be the Booker night. Hoorah!
After this, we're gonna film a skit where we announce that, like, hey, let's do Crux Wrestling Lethal Lottery.
Hell yes!
So here are the goals. We got to figure out. I got to go home and set up the Patreon and set everything up finally, because I got talked into it. We got to figure out. We're gonna have to figure out how much we're gonna fix the ring with the boards and everything. But we'll cross that bridge soon enough.
Yeah.
Bad Bordy right now. I think we do the Bad Bordy Belt Raiser.
Yeah.
And if we get enough people to do the Bad Bordy Belt Raiser, we'll do BBW, Bad Bordy Wrestling.
Which is.
That's it. I think with Crux, we're just going to see if anybody wants to hook up or not.
To all my big, beautiful women out there, I love you.
We're going to film this. I think I've got one student that he has to have his first match. He can't beat a Lethal Lottery. But everybody else, on the other hand, different fucking
imagine
story.
Imagine that.
Lethal Lottery, Austin. See you out there, bud.
You get the fucking, be like, we got a $7,000 donation to the Lethal Lottery?
So anyways, I think...
I'm super excited about that too. to watch. We've talked about him a lot. There's this kid that he's
Worked
put
really
his
hard.
heart and soul into it and done everything quote unquote the right way, and he's respectful and he's just a great kid.
He may have liked wrestling at the beginning of it, but he might have loved wrestling, but now he loves and he respects it.
And he was this
and
close.
He's proven it. Yeah.
And then this virus and thing came, and it all got taken away from him, you know. And he more than anybody, he deserves to have a platform, I think, to showcase his rise to wherever it goes and whatnot.
And we get to share that with people from his first match.
And that like, dude, that's like, it's not, it's a, like, don't get me wrong, it's about us making money. We have to make money because you have to make money. You have to make money. That's part of it.
We're going to be able to do this for Austin, and we're going to be able to give people like
it's
Ricky,
not just to make money. It's to create something that is better,
and not have to like send somebody 15 hours away to get that dream match with this guy that lives in a $300 plane ticket one way away, right? It's gonna be for things like that. Like, I've done a lot of that
and
over
to not
the
spend
years
250 hours a year
in my car
driving to. That's how much it is. It's 250 hours a year just driving to and from where we train and have matches and stuff. 250.
We almost I mean, we can even share it now. We had found we found a spot to run by my house within the budget of anything better than I could have imagined, and we couldn't get a pony ring quick enough or cheap enough on sale to make it work. I don't know if I've lost that spot now or not, but it's gone. We ended up getting a ring offered and dropped into our lap that won't even fit that building, but because of a story that we'll share at a later date, like, we're gonna get that ring, and I'm gonna keep that ring to the day I die and it rusts and falls over. Even if it doesn't bump right. You think the ring at the Gypsy Joe's bad, motherfucker? I understand why Joe kept it. I understand why Joe kept it now, you know?
Yeah.
Or why Jack kept it, I guess I should say.
Fuck, man, I'd love to have it right now after the fucking week I've gone through.
So, but in all full transparency, we're going to let y'all do that. So if you catch this on Bad Boardy, which I hope that you do, and I hope that you love it.
I'm going to throw this up everywhere on the website, on the YouTube, on the Twitters.
I think we should, or at least I'm going
to put it on Patreon too, because I give them everything, even the free shit.
I was going to say leave it on. I would just do it on Patreon and Twitch and see what we pull from that, and then YouTube, and then we'll go from there. Because we're going to film a 2-minute promo here in a second. We could probably film us filming a 2-minute promo here in a second. But we're going to do that, and I'm going to have to get off here because I got to go buy dinner for my wife. I stayed way later.
Bro, you should have been gone an hour and a half ago.
No,
when we started this, you should have been gone.
I feel bad.
That's the thing, though. That's the thing is what you don't see is the shit that goes into it. We have to do these hour-long things and podcasts. And I wake up on a shitty day, and it's been 3 days since I've done a Patreon, so fucking what?
But now we got this, though.
You know?
Yeah. And we got, I got class tomorrow. Tomorrow's Frank's first day at class, so that's going to be cool. We're actually, it's
going to be hot.
Not that anybody here is going to really know or care, but we're about to take on multiple days of training a week and actually have a beginner's class and actually have an intermediate's class now. And thankfully, Owen Reed and Frank Wyatt and Maxwell here, Maxwell, while not training the wrestlers, he is helping us with our entertainment side of it and with our storytelling and with our character work. But while he learns to wrestle as well. And it takes some of that off me to where I don't have to be away from my wife every time. And idealistically, once we move up to the building and with this ring, like, the ring's the first real key that we have into making money to become self-sustaining into the place.
And if we had our own building with our own ring, we set up a nice little, like, we could
yeah,
have our own little daycare room and
we've already talked through all these, like, fantasy scenarios.
That's the thing, man. It's like, we run all of these things through our mind and we get real excited, but we've
also get
never
scared as shit.
Yes,
too.
we've never
That's the
sat down and put numbers to it.
And now we have, and this is our shot, and this is our best shot. Yeah. And that still doesn't solve the next hurdle. Like Max said at the beginning of this, we're already looking at trailers. Yeah. I don't even know if either of our cars are
and that's the thing is,
you know,
I don't think we can even pull it once we get the trailer. So then
we're
talking about maybe another 15. Yeah, I mean, fuck it. I just leave that. I'll leave that fucking Kia Soul of mine on the side of the road before I put a new transmission in it. So we're gonna find out.
Or even having to find money to give someone gas money to use their truck and trailer.
Yeah.
You know, because that's the goal. Is
time, effort, money.
Yeah,
we've put in it's like I will.
But it still makes you feel shitty though to ask too, because it's like you don't want.
And you
know,
feel horrible. You feel, and that's the thing is
I
like
constantly want to just like it makes me want to puke. Like I don't have anxiety, but
we're not gonna end this thing going like hell's like. Even though we know this is what it has to be, and we need you, and we know that there are people who want to help us succeed, and that's what makes them happy. Still inside of us, we're the kind of people that go, fuck, man.
Yeah, no shit.
I wish I didn't have to do that.
Like, fucking, I'll say sorry if I open, fucking, it's just...
Well, I am losing weight, dude. I can see my neck, like that line in my neck.
I feel like I am too, but from where I'm sitting, I got my Harley race dad bod going on. I gotta get my arms up.
I got this side. That's another thing that throws me off because it's different directs. I got like this side titty popping out.
Shit. Fuck sleeves. But I didn't mean to cuss. That's the other thing. I'm trying to not to cuss so much because I have the baby now, and it's like, how do you have the mouth of a sailor your entire life, and then it's just like, just stop.
You know what? You know who don't cuss? My kids. They'll cuss when they're like every so often. But I think that I cuss so much, my kids are like, that shit's not cool. You know what I mean? Like, I realized real quick, and I don't know at what point it happened with my dad too, but like the last probably 6 months, my kid got into like sort of the kind of games that I play with David Morton and Cody Morton of Smoking Buds fame. And I was like, hey, bud, if you're ever on like Overwatch or something and you want your old man to hop in there and be on your squad, let me know. And he was like, yeah. Some bitch kayfabed me for the better part of 3 weeks before he finally admitted without admitting that I'm just not good enough. And I'm not cool enough and they don't want me in their fucking party. And I just wanted to look at him and go, do you know what I've done? Do you know who I am, motherfucker? People would love to have me in their Xbox party, you piece of shit.
Ain't nobody playing Xbox with me because I'm bad. I tell them I'm bad.
Yeah, but it's like,
I am a guaranteed bronze Overwatch player with no hope of going silver.
I play Call of Duty with the Smoking Buds, and I had no choice.
Big dubs.
I had no choice but to up my game and to take it somewhat seriously because they just move so fast and they're so good. But at some point, it got where I would die and you spectate, and we have got to stop talking so you can go home. But you spectate them. And I would watch how they play, and I would start to anticipate. Like, David Morton, the other day, we're playing, and he goes, hey, I'm going to get you a kill. Watch this door, and he points at it. So I put my gun trained on the door. 2 seconds later, a guy runs out the door, and I shot him.
Excellent.
He knows, Wayne Gretzky, don't go where the puck is. Go where it's going to be.
Sleeves are for rich people. Hell yeah. That's definitely not us on that, for sure.
People actually give me shit on the internet when they see me wearing it. My Carney shirt has sleeves.
We almost had to go to
They give me shit.
We were going to go talk to somebody about the building the other day, and I had this group discussion. I was like, everybody, we got to do at least polos. At least polos.
I was like, what's business casual in the summer? Because I do own one pair of blue jeans, and I own a button-up shirt. But if I put that shit on in the summer, I'm going to die. And I don't own collared shirts or polo shirts. The nicest shirt I own is my Carney's. We're the ones they stopped praying for shirt because it's got sleeves.
That's one thing I was about to say. I guess we got to start pushing out new merch. I think we talked about doing a drawing of a broken ring and then us being sad, and then everyone who donates to the ring will get their name on the back. I think that's awesome.
Yeah. Be a part of something and have something for you. It's like
you at least get a memorabilia from it. Like I was at Woodstock or Fyter Fest when it didn't happen.
I bought Young Bucks shirts for my kids, knowing that they didn't need shirts and would probably never wear them. Every time I went to Hot Topic, if there was a new Young Bucks shirt, Marty Skrull shirt, whatever it was, because I knew that was the money that was going to finance a show called All In, and that there was a possibility that if that show was successful and did what everyone said that it was not going to do, maybe there would be an alternative for me, because I can't watch most of what WWE does. I just can't. I'm a Memphis guy. I want a little bit more Carney in my life, a little bit more New Japan in my life stateside. And that show turned into a billionaire starting a wrestling company.
Well, we're going to do the opposite of that. We're going to be, we're lower.
We're just trying to be heirs. Not million, not thousand. Just let me be a dollar. Let me be a 10's heir.
let me. You're telling me that we can almost not lose money? That's cool. That's like not losing money.
You'd be like, baby, I bought 3 McChickens after the show, and it wasn't on credit. Hell,
it was crazy. It was crazy that like even my wife and my parents were like, yeah, this is a good. Yeah. You're actually doing it. And that was a nice feeling.
And it feels because it's now, and especially with me, because I've been pushing it hard.
You and Ricky and everybody else.
Hard, because you've got it. And for lack of a better phrasing, the time is up.
Well, yeah,
your time is now.
Wrestling may not even exist anyway. So what's more Kerry luck than buying a ring and then they'll be like, no one can touch anybody for 9 years.
I've never felt that way in my life, and I've sat in a room with a guy who makes Impractical Jokers. I've been on podcasts with guys who have 10,000 Patreons. I've never felt more like my time to leave a legacy. Because I'm happy if I die today with what I've done, become a better person. When you need to go home.
But a triple from Waffle House? Shit, Joe, you've been at my shows before where you've seen me just been like, here you go. I've done, oh man, a triple at Waffle House sounds so fucking good right now.
All right, and B, tell them goodbye. Tell them you love them.
Also about the show, like, yes, that's exactly it. That sentence right there, show did well enough for us to get a triple from Waffle House, so
that's all we want.
That is exactly what we want, and we want to make the goofiest fucking wrestling, or the most serious wrestling, or the most eccentric weird wrestling that we can. We're gonna try a couple fundraisers, one for the Bad Bordy belt, and if we get the Bad Bordy belt, I will make a gaggle of wrestlers. I will not make them. I will ask them politely, and I will Voltron with my compatriots, and we will do one night only BBW Bad Bordy Wrestling to debut the Bad Bordy Wrestling Champion, the BB Dub champ.
Hell yeah, dude.
We can call him B Dubs.
Woo, son.
What if it was? We always talk about Dubs. We always talk about being Dubs. Why does it have a dub on it?
That's gonna be a nice title too, son. And it, like, I'm telling you right now, man, dudes are gonna be like, hey.
We're gonna actually.
These other titles are dope. When they hold up that Bad Bordy title, you'll know that motherfucker's a bad sumbitch. He fought for that.
At Crux Wrestling, we have the freedom to not be constrained by wrestling tropes.
Yeah.
So if we want the bad Bordy,
I'm so happy you said it. You've said it 100 times, and every one of them was right
Bodie,
today.
I said Bodie
for 8 months. He ain't got Bad Bordy right not one time, but for the stream where we're trying to figure out the future, every time, dude, you're a professional.
I slipped
now I've got to pee. I keep switching my leg like this because I'm gonna piss myself.
You said the initials were BBW, so I'm getting ready to say Big Boned Woman instead of Bad Bordy Wrestling.
Yeah.
But it's about big dubs. Because whoever gets big dubs at BBW Wrestling or BB Wrestling will get the Bad Bordy Championship if we get it.
Fuck yeah.
And I say we defend it at Crux. Anywho, we're filming stuff. We're releasing in the near future.
I'm comfortable saying, and I'm clicking stop recording. The Bad Bordy Wrestling Championship is fucking happening. I love you. We'll see y'all with some new content soon.
Join us on Patreon.
My hand! It's touching your hand! I love y'all.
Bye.
Pork and beans, kings and queens. I stole that from Dusty Rhodes. I love you, Dusty Rhodes. R.I.P.